Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. We got some 1992 NASCAR racing here on the Trenton with red, white, and blue. And we are at Bristol, Tennessee for the Bud 500. And let's get to the starting grid. You got Ernie Irvin on the pole. On the outside pole, last week's winner, Ricky Rudd. Starting third is Bodine in the 26. Hi, Philip. Starting fourth is Mark Martin in the 6. Starting fifth is Kowicki in the 7. Starting sixth is Schrader in the 25. Starting seventh is Allison in the 28. Starting eighth is Wallace in the 2. Starting ninth is DW in the 17. That's Waltrip. Starting 10th is Trickle in the 8. Starting 11th is Jeffrey Bodine in the 15. Starting 12th is Hensley in the 66. Starting 13th is Strickland in the 12. Starting 14th is Jared in the 18. Starting 15th is Shepard in the 21. Starting 16th is Gant in the 33. And starting 17th is Cope in the 10. Starting 18th is Labonte in the 94. Starting 19th is Elliott in the 11. Starting 20th is Marcus in the 71. Starting 21st is Dollenbach Jr. in the 16. Starting 22nd is little brother Mikey Waltrip in the 30. Starting 23rd is Earnhardt in the 3. Starting 24th is Mast in the 1. Starting 25th is Musgrave in the 55. Starting 26th is Kyle Petty in the 42. Starting 27th is Marlin in the 22. Starting 28th is Hamilton in the 68. Starting 29th is Spencer in the 98. And making his last start, the King. This is his farewell tour and season at Bristol. His last race at Bristol. The King will be starting 30th. Starting 31st is Sauter in the 89. And starting shotgun in the last is Jimmy Smut Means in the 52 car. Okay, Philip, will do. All righty, and here we go. As Ernie Irvin will lead us to the green flag here at Bristol and get this race underway. 26 turn race. Here's turn number 1. And we got a bottom group of skill and a problem. Skill and a problem. First one's up, Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer. And 6, he ain't going nowhere. Bobby Hamilton. Country Time Lemonade with a 4's not doing nothing. Here comes Sterling and that Maxwell House Jr. Johnson Ford. A 5-2-6. And he's going to get Jeffrey Bodine in that Bud Moore Ford and goes from 27th up to the 11th. Here comes Cal Petty. A 3-1-3. And DW holds him off with having a double star there at skill. And that's it. Now he's going to have the problem here. And it'll be poor Jimmy Means. Let's see what Jimmy Means, what kind of problem Jimmy has. 22. That's going to be a brake issue. And there's no adjustment on the repair. There is a -1 to escape. So Jimmy with an E, he'll need a 3 to stay in this race. And Jimmy will be the first car out of the race. He'll finish 32nd in that 52 car. Started last and finished last. All righty, we go to turn number 2 now. And here we go, folks. We got a dual 5. That'll be the 5 car in the top group. And that'll be Kenny Schrader going after his teammate, Ricky Rudd, early in the race here. I don't know if Rick Hendrick's going to like that much. He gets Rick and gets a chip, but he puts Rick in a bad spot here. Takes an 8 for Ricky not to wreck here with that -1 here at Bristol. And Ricky barely makes it. I guess no harm, no foul with teammates. We go to turn number 3. And we got another duel, and this time it'll be the 2 cars in the middle group. You got Marlin and Trickle. Marlin will be going after Rusty, and he doesn't get him. And Trickle will be going after Rusty and doesn't get him. So it takes a 7 for Sterling not to wreck, and he does wreck. So I'll bring out a caution. And it takes a 5 for Dick not to wreck. And Dick's involved too. So we got 2 cars involved in this mess. Rusty put the hammer to both of them, and they bunched up and wrecked. He closed the door on them. Let's see if they can get those cars fixed and back out on the track. Here at Bristol International Speedway, the last great Coliseum, fastest half mile. Alrighty, first up is Trickle. He'll need a 9 to stay in the race, and he gets it. How about Sterling? He's going to need a 10 to stay in the race, and he gets it. So both cars are fixed back out on the track, but they're 30th and 31st respectively. All right, we go to turn number 4. And we got a bottom group of Heat in the bottom group. First up is Dick Trickle, who just got back there trying to pass Rusty. And he's going to stay there for a little bit. Sterling Marlin's got the heat. And he might have enough to get by 3-1-5. And he gets DW. He goes from 30th back up to the top 10. Goes to 9th. Knocks DW. And DW runs well here at Bristol. Here comes the king. A 4-6-1. And how about that? He does get Dave Marcus. Dave don't have heat or a brake. So the king goes from 28th up to 18th. Here comes Jeffrey Bodine and that Bud Moore Motorcraft Ford with a 3-5-4. And he's going to get Elliott and go from 25th up to 17th. Here comes Kyle Petty with a 4-3-4. And he gets Jarrett and goes from 24th up to 12th. Last car with heat's Rick Mast with a 4-5-6. And he gets Texas Terry Labonte and goes from 22nd up to 16th. We go to turn number 5 here, folks. And we got a top group of Reflex in the top group. And it takes just a 3, 4, 5, or 6 to get Ernie. Here comes Davey. Not with a 6, he's not. Here comes Ricky Rudd trying to go for back-to-back wins. Not with a 6, he's not. Alan Kowicki's got 2 shots at him. A 5-1-5. He gets it done on the first try. Alan takes the lead here on turn number 5. Here comes Mark Martin with a 4-2-2, and it takes a 6 to get Allen. Ken Schrader with a chip and reflex. 6-2. He'll need to use his chip, but he gets that Chevy out in front with that Kodiak Bear here on turn number 5. So we go to turn 6 here at Bristol. And we got another top group, and this time it is trouble in the top group. Uh-oh. Here we go. It could be the big one. Ken Schrader needs a 4 not to be involved in it, and he is. There's 1 involved. Takes an 8 for Allen not to be involved. He makes it through. Takes an 8 for Brett Bodine. Brett's involved. Mark Martin needs a 7 to escape this mess. He gets it done. Ernie needs a 5. And that ain't happening. So we will be going to the middle group. Takes an 8 for Ricky Rudd. And he makes it through. And it takes a 6 for Davey to escape. And he makes it through. Rusty Wallace needs a 9. And he makes it. Sterling needs a 7. And he doesn't. Sterling's involved in the wreck. Hensley needs a 9. And he barely makes it. Hut needs a 7. He doesn't get it. Bristol bites him. He gets an 8. Normally that would have been good for him. Kyle Petty needs a 7. And he barely gets it. Morgan needs a 6. He doesn't get it. Morgan's involved in the wreck. Harry Gant needs a 8. He gets it. He makes it through. Derek needs a 6. He makes it through. Rick Mass needs a 6. He makes it through. Jeffrey Bodine needs an 8. He doesn't make it through. And the King needs a 6. And he makes it through with Snake Eyes. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So we won't be heading to the back group. And Wally needs a 7. And he barely makes it through. So everybody moves up here. We'll move everybody up from the back group. Because we had 1, 2, 3, 4 cars in that middle group. So we won't go to the bottom group. Well, let's see how many of these cars involved in this wreck will get repaired and get back out on the track. I believe there were 7 cars involved in this wreck. Yeah, 7 cars involved in this wreck. First up is Bodine. He needs a 9 to stay in the race. And he does. Morgan needs a 11. And he stays in the race. And Hut needs a 8 to stay in the race. And he does. At least they're getting these cars fixed. And Sterling needs a 10. He gets the car back out there. Ernie needs a 6. No, an 8, sorry. An 8 to stay in the race. And he gets her fixed. Bodine needs a 10. Brett Bodine, he gets her fixed. Last one's Ken Schrader, who was leading this race. He needs a 9 to stay in the race. And he gets it. So they all get repaired. Here on turn 6. Alan gets the lead back. And that'll take us past the pit stop here on turn number 9 now. Alrighty, so here's our first pit stop of the race. And it'll be a middle group 2 and 6 switch spots. And let's grab a handful of chips and see how many of these crews back here in the middle group can earn a chip. Okay, first up is Harry Gant, and he needs a 9 to get a chip. He gets it. Terry Cope needs a 6. He barely gets it. Bill needs a 10. He gets it. Hamilton needs a 6. He gets double sixes. The boxcars ain't going to work. Wally needs a 6. He doesn't get it. Mikey needs a 6. He doesn't get it. Earnhardt needs an 8. And he doesn't get it. Terry needs an 8. He gets it. Musgrave needs a 6. He doesn't get it. Jarrett needs a 6. He barely gets it. Rick Mass needs a 6. He doesn't get it. And the King needs a 5. And the King doesn't get it. Now we'll see if anybody can beat Alan out of the pits here after we move everybody up. Alrighty here. 5-5. And no, Jimmy can't get him. We go to turn number 10. 100 miles here at Bristol are in the books. And we get a top group of Star in the top group. And it takes a 6 to beat Allen. First Star is Ricky Rudd. 5-4 is not going to get her done. Davey Allison's got 2 chances at Allen. 2-5, not quite. And a 6-5, the wrong 6. And the last one with the shot is Kyle Petty. And a 2-4, Allen holds him off. We go to turn number 11. Getting close to the halfway point here. We got a middle group of trouble and a problem. First, we'll do the trouble. Takes an 8 for Harry not to use his chip to avoid this wreck. And he'll need to use his chip, but he avoids wrecking. Takes a 6 for Derek not to use his chip. And he'll need to use his chip. Takes a 9 for Bill not to use his chip. And Bill won't need to use his chip. Takes a 10 for Terry not to use his chip. And Terry won't need to. And it'll take an 8 for Dale Jarrett not to use his chip. And he won't need to. And now the rest of them, if they don't make it, they're involved in the wreck. They don't have chips. Takes an 8 for Bobby not to wreck. He makes it through with a 7. Takes a 7 for Wally. He makes it through with a 6. Michael needs a 6. And Mikey makes it through. Earnhardt needs a 9. And he makes it through. These guys are doing some good driving back here. Musgrave needs an 8. He makes it through with a 7. Rick Mass needs a 6. He makes it through. And the King needs a 6. And the King's the only one that wrecks. Ain't that a damn shame? Alrighty, so everybody will move up. Yellow comes out for the King wrecking. And we still got a problem after we see if the King stays in the race. Alrighty, the King needs a... We're in the middle part of the race now. He needs a 7 to stay in the race. And he barely gets it. So the King stays in the race. And now who has the problem? It looks like Dave Marcus is going to have the problem here at Bristol. What kind of problems does Dave have? 53. He's got a hand-on problem. And Dave is a E, so he'll be out of the race with this hand-on problem since he's not got enough time to fix the car. So Dave Marcus will finish 31st in the 71 car. Everybody moves up. Well, now we only have 30 cars running here at Bristol. As we make it to turn 13, cross flags are out. We're halfway through this race here, folks, at Bristol. We reached the halfway mark. And here we go back to racing here on turn 13. Green flag's out, and we got a middle group of trouble again in the middle group. Here we go again, folks. Takes an 8 for Harry not to wreck, and he barely makes it with a 7. Cope needs a 6. Derek barely makes it through. Bill needs a 9 not to use his chip, and he doesn't need to. Terry needs a 10 not to use his chip. He doesn't need to. Jarrett needs an 8 not to use his chip, and Jarrett will have to use his chip to avoid this race. Now, the rest of them don't have chips. Takes an 8 for Bobby to escape. He makes it through with a 7. Takes a 7 for Wally, and he barely makes it through. Good driving by Wally. Here comes Mikey. He needs a 6. He's involved in the wreck this time. That Pennzoil Pontiac takes a 9 for Earnhardt to make it through, and he barely makes it through. Good piece of driving by Earnhardt. Takes a 8 for Ted Musgrave to make it through. He doesn't make it through with a 10. Takes a 6 for Rick Mass. He doesn't make it through. And it takes a 8 for Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer, to make it through. And he doesn't make it through. That was only 4 cars, so we won't be going to the bottom group. Everybody will just move up. That'll be 2 caution laps, turns here rather, not laps. And let's see if these cars can get repaired here. Jimmy will need a 6 to stay in the race, and he does. Rick Mast will need a 6. I'm sorry, Rick Mast will need a 7. And he doesn't. Rick Mast will finish 30th. And that 1 car, Copenhagen car's out of the race. Here comes Musgrave's crew out. And they need a 9 to keep him in the race. And they get her done. And last car is Mikey Waltrip in that Pennzoil car, and he needs a 6 to stay in the race. And he doesn't get it. So the 30 car will finish 29th. Alrighty, so we got 29 cars still in the race. You got Alan Kowicki leading, Martin second, Kyle Petty third, Allison fourth, Wallace fifth, Hensley sixth, Rudd 7th, Gant 8th, Cope 9th, and Elliott rounding out the top 10. And we're on to turn number 16, folks. Here at Bristol, a lot of wrecks, a lot of cautions. We got a bottom group of Reflex in the bottom group. Here comes Mr. Excitement after being involved in the wreck. A 156. He's going to get her done, folks. He gets DW and goes from 28th up to 17th. They did a decent job getting that car back out there. Here comes the King. Like to see him get out of the bottom group with a 145. I believe he will. And he's going to get Earnhardt. Won 7-time champion after another course. Earnhardt hadn't won his 7th championship yet. Here comes Jeffrey Bodine, a shot to get into the top group here. First chance to get in the middle with 555s. That's not going to happen. Poor Jeffrey has a problem. He's got a battery problem. He'll drop back to 28th. Hut Strickland, Hut. With a 116. And he's going to get Harry Gant and go from 23rd up to 8th. Good piece of driving by Hut in that Ray Bestis car. And that's it for the bottom group. And we got our last and final pit stop, the money stop of the race, folks. Here we go. It's going to be the top group. 2 and 5 is going to switch. And since nobody in the middle group can get chips, we'll move these guys back up here with chips. Rearrange the middle group. Okay, grab some chips here. And let's see who's going to get some chips here on the money stop. First up is Kowicki. He needs a 10. He gets a chip. Martin and that Valvoline crew needs a 9. They don't get one. Hensley and that Trop Arctic crew needs a 6. They don't get one. The Yates crew needs a 10. Robert and the gang, they come through. The Penske and the Deuce, Maryland Genuine Draft needs an 8. And they get her done. And mellow yellow car of Felix Savalas. Can they get some chips with a 9? Yes, they can. And last but not least is Ricky Rudd, and that Tide car needs an 8. And Ricky doesn't get a chip. So we move everybody up here and see if anybody can beat Allen out of the pits here. 5-6. No, he holds them off. And Allen's led since turn 6. He gets another chip. Allen's looking pretty good here at Bristol. So we make it to turn 18. And we got a bottom group of trouble in the bottom group. Here we go, folks. We've had a lot of trouble today. First up is Brett Bodine. He needs an 8. To escape, he does. Ernie Irvin needs a 5. And Swervin' Irvin is involved in a wreck again here at Bristol. And Bristol cost him, because normally that 6 would have been good for him, but it's a -1. Sterling needs a 7. And again, Sterling's involved in a wreck. Harry Gant needs an 8 to escape this mess. And he doesn't escape. Harry Gant's involved in this wreck. Shepard needs a 6. And he doesn't get it. Normally he would have made it through with that 7. But again, Bristol with that -1 does him in. Earnhardt needs a 9. He makes it through. Musgrave needs an 8. And Ted makes it through. DW needs an 8. DW makes it through this mess. And Jeffrey Bodine needs an 8. And he makes it through. So we've had 4 cars involved in this melee. And we are now in the last part of the race. So it takes a 7 for Morgan to stay in the race. And he doesn't. The 21 car will finish 28th. Okay, Harry Gant needs a 7 to stay in the race. And Harry barely makes it through. And Sterling needs a 6. And he barely makes it through. And Ernie's going to need a 4 to make it through. And he doesn't. The 4 car of Ernie Irvin will finish 27th. Alrighty, folks. We got 26 cars still on the track. And that takes us to turn 21. Alan Kowicki's your leader. Davey Allison, 2nd. Rusty, 3rd. Kyle Petty, 4th. Martin, 5th. Hensley, 6th. Rudd, 7th. And Elliott, 8th. Labonte, 9th. And rounding out the top 10, Hutch Strickland. Hi there, replay gamer. Love the Bill Elliott winning 4 races there in 84. Awesome. Bill, he's in 8th place right now. He's driving for Junior Johnson this year in the 11 car, the Budweiser car. Be nice to see him win here at Bristol. It's the Bud at the Bud 500 at Bristol. Here we go. Turn 30, 21 only. 6 more turns to go, folks. Here we go. And we got a top group of control and a problem. First will be the problem, control. Ricky Rudd takes a 6 to beat Allen. A 3-3-4 ain't happening. And now Hensley, 3-4 ain't happening. Here comes Mark Martin. And 5-2 ain't happening. And here comes some chips after Allen. And it's late in the race. They might as well use them up here. So here comes Kyle Petty. A 4-2. He'll use this chip and make Allen burn one of his to hold him off. Rusty doesn't have control. Davey does, though. Again, it takes a 6 to get Allen. And a 2-6. Davey gets it. Allen will use his chip to hold him off, and Davey will use his to retake it. So Davey Allison gets the lead here on turn 21. Alan Kowicki's dominated this race from turn 6 till now, but Davey puts that Haviland Ford out in front. We go to turn 22 here. And we got a middle group of Smart. Who's Smart back here in the middle group? First Smart driver is Wally Dolan back in that Keystone beer car for Jack Roush. He ain't going nowhere. He's not smart enough with a 6. Dale Jarrett and Joe Gibbs is 18. 4-5-2. And he gets Jimmy Hensley. Goes from 14th up to 6th. That's how smart he is. Derry Cope in that Pure Later car, Smart. A 4-3-3. And not smart enough to get Cal Petty. Here comes Hut Strickland. In Bobby Allison's car, not with a 5. He's not going nowhere. Here comes Terry Labonte with a chip and Smart. 3-2-2. And he doesn't get Rusty. He'll burn his chip and make Rusty burn his to hold on to it. Here comes Mr. Elliott, Awesome Bill from Dawsonville, and that Budweiser Ford trying to get the car up front with a shot at the lead at the Bud 500. Here we go. He gets a 3-5-2, and he's going to need to use his chip to get Jarrett, but he moves up to 6th as we go to turn number 23. 4 turns to go, folks. And we got a top group of skill and a problem. Well, we had a problem on that last turn, didn't we? Yes, we did. And it was Smart. So it was, who's got the problem? There is no triangle, so it's somebody in the middle group. So we got to find out who had the problem. 55. That's going to be the 5 odd car. The King had a problem. Ain't that a damn shame? 51. He spins and he'll drop back to 20th, so he doesn't lose too many spots. Let's see who moves up here. Does Brett Bodine move up? Yes, he does. Alrighty, now we got the top group with skill and the problem. First, we'll do the skill. Bill Elliott with a shot at the lead here. Takes a 6 to get Davey. And a 1-6. Look at Awesome Bill get the job done. Man, that car's flying up through the pack now. Awesome Bill gets the lead here on turn 23. All righty, Mark Martin coming after Bill to take a 6 to get Bill. 6-4, the wrong 6. Cal Petty coming after him. 6-3, the wrong 6 again. Rusty needs a 6 to get him, and Rusty gets him. How about that? Rusty's the king of the small tracks here. These short tracks, Rusty does well. And Rusty's got 3 wins on the season. And he gets the lead here on turn 23. Allen can get him, and it only takes a 4 to get Rusty. 6-5, no. Now, okay, like I say, there's no drivers with triangles in the race. So let's see who has the problem here in the top group. And it's going to be poor Mark Martin has the problem. See what kind of problem Mark has. 64, he has an engine problem. It's late in the race. It'll take a 4 for Mark to stay in the race. And he doesn't. Mark Martin will finish 26th here today. Not a good day for Jack Roush and that 6 car. We'll see who moves up to the top and middle group. Jarrett with a shot here. No. How about Texas Terry Labonte? Terry moves up. And see if the King can get back up here to the middle group after the little spin he had. And no, he won't. How about Earnhardt? Earnhardt moves up from 21st to 19th. It leaves us with 25 cars still in the race here. As we go to turn 24, you got Rusty in the lead, Kowicki second, Elliott third, Kyle Petty fourth, Allison fifth, Rudd sixth, Labonte seventh, Jarrett eighth, Hutt ninth, and rounding out the top 10, Cope in the 10 car. Here we go, turn 24, folks. 3 turns to go. We get a middle group of skill and problem in the middle group. First up is Ken Schrader in that Kodiak Bear. Get to the front here. A 3-4-2. And Davey holds him off. Here comes Mr. Country Time Lemonade, Bobby Hamilton, with a 3-2-2. And Bill holds him off. Here comes Mr. Excitement. You don't want to mess around with Jimmy. 3-4-4. And it's skill. So 2 skill, 2 breaks. Davey holds him off easy. Last one with a shot to get out of this middle group's Mr. Jarrett with 3-1-5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he gets Allen, goes from 8th up to 7th. How about that? Now let's see who has the problem here in this middle group. 15. Uh-oh. That's going to be Hutt. Hutt Strickland has the problem. What kind of problems for Hutt have? 63. He's got an engine problem. And a D. That's going to cost Hutt the race. They're not going to have time to fix that. So Hutt will finish 25th. We'll move these guys up in the middle group and see who's going to join them. King with a second chance here. Can he do it? King needs a 4. He gets a 3. The King moves up to 19th. All righty, 2 turns to go, folks. 2 turns to go. Here we go. And we got a top. Oh, gosh, ain't this crazy? We got a top group again. Skill and problem. First up with skills, Davey Allison. He's got 2 chances at Rusty. Again, it only takes a 4, 5, or 6 to get Rusty. And 3-4, he gets him. Davey Allison retakes the lead here on turn 25. All righty. Kyle Petty with a 3-4-4, and it takes a 6 to beat Davey. Here comes Bill with skill. And a 3-3 ain't getting it done. And the last driver's Jarrett. And a 5-2 ain't getting it done. Whoa, we are all over the place. And Kyle Petty's going to have the problem. What kind of problems Kyle Petty going to have? He loses in the turn and he'll drop down to 24. At least he stays in the race. But it is the final turn. Let's see if Allen can move up. He does. All righty, Ted Musgrave with a shot at moving up. He needs a 4. He doesn't get it done. DW, can he get it done? He does with a 5. DW goes from 21st up to 19th. Not used to seeing DW back this far at Bristol. All righty, folks. Here we go with the white flag. Last turn of this race here at Bristol. See what happens here. Can Davey Allison hold on to win at Bristol? We're going to have a top group of skill, and this time no problem, since we rolled an 11 instead of a 2. So here comes these drivers with skill. Again, it'll take a 6 to get Davey, though. Alan Kowicki's up. A 4 or 5. He gets close, but no cigar. Davey holds him off. Rusty wants that lead back here. And a 2-6. How about that? Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac retakes the lead here on turn 26. All righty. And here comes Bill. Again, it only takes a 4 to beat Rusty. And a 4-2, the wrong 4. Here comes Dale Jarrett. And a 5-1, and Rusty's going to hold on to win this race, folks. And Rusty Wallace is your winner. Chicken dinner. And that's his 4th win of the year, folks. How about that? Rusty Wallace wins here at Bristol. A Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac being in victory lane with a Budweiser sponsorship isn't looking good. Oh, I'm glad you did. Thank you, man. I've been enjoying your races too, bud. Anybody, man, that likes red and white and blue racing, go over the Replay Gamer. He's been doing races over there. So Rusty wins in this Pontiac. Dale Jarrett with a nice race, finishes 2nd in that Chevy. An awesome Bill from Dawsonville. He finishes 3rd in that Ford. Davey Allison. Looked like he had this race won, and Rusty put the boot to him. And he'll finish 4th. Last week's winner in the 5 car finishes 5th, Ricky Rudd. Texas Terry Labonte finishes 6th. And finishing 7th in the 7 car is Alan Kowicki. Finishing 8th in the 10 car is Cope. Jimmy Sauter, how about that? A quiet day for Jimmy Sauter, but he finishes in the top 10. Good job, Jimmy. And another Jimmy, Mr. Excitement in that 98 car. And there's nothing quiet about Spencer. Spencer's not quiet, but he finishes 10th. And how about Mr. Hensley? All these Jimmies. 3 Jimmies in a row. Spencer, Sauter, and Hensley. All the Jimmies. 9, 10, and 11 here. The 66 car with a good finish. And finally, somebody break up the Jimmies. You got Bobby Hamilton in the 68, finishing 12th. And Wally Dallenbach in the 16 will finish 13th. And Dick Trickle in the 8 car finishes 14th. And Kenny in the Kodiak Chevy's going to finish 15th. Okay. Brett Bodine in the Quaker State Buick, you'll finish 16th. Dale Earnhardt in the 3 car finishes 18th. And the King, he finishes 18th, as Earnhardt was 17th rather. Finishing 19th, like I say. Not used to DW finishing that far back at Bristol. And you got Ted Musgrave finishing 20th in the 55 car. Jeffrey Bodine, he finishes 21st. Sterling Marlin in the 22 finishes 22nd. And Handsome Harry Gant gets involved in that wreck and finishes 23rd. And Cal Petty in the 42 car, last car running, had problems near the end, finishes 24th. I want to thank Replay Gamer and Philip Reynolds for stopping by. Check out their channel. Philip Reynolds is doing hockey games on his, and on the Replay Gamer does some red, white, and blue racing and a lot of baseball. Check out their channels. And if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. And on your way out of Bristol, hit that like button. Let me know what you think of this race here at Bristol and what you think of this 1992 replay. Until next time, guys, you all take care. And we'll probably, hey, thank you. Appreciate it. Forever remain 90. And until next time, y'all take care. We'll probably be back on here later today, probably with some 1961 baseball. And until then, you have an awesome, great Saturday.